So today we're going to be going over 5 Dior fragrances that you should get into if you're new to the brand. Dior is one of the top leading designer brands in fragrances. They have put out so many great revolutionary scents, and if you don't own any of them, it's about time that you do. They have so many great things, and it may be a bit overwhelming to get into at first, which is why I'm going to put this video together for you. Now, I'm sure most of you watching this probably own a Dior fragrance or two, but this is more geared towards the beginners out there if you're just getting into collecting fragrances and maybe you've started with some of the cheaper ones just to kind of work your way up. Now you want to work into some higher quality, more expensive Dior fragrances. This is going to be the video that helps you out. So let's go ahead and start out with an obvious one here. First one, Dior Savage. I mean, come on. It just works. And if you're looking to get into the house of Dior for the first time and you want something that's going to be beginner friendly, Savage is one of the best options. What's nice about Savage is it gives you the feeling of the whole Dior experience. You get the magnetic cap, you get the great atomizer, you get just overall the really nice high quality presentation from the bottle to the box, just the whole experience. You get to kind of see what it's about and still have a scent which is going to be beginner friendly and something that's going to be mass pleasing. Of course, Savage is all about that ambroxan and bergamot blast in the opening and a bit of a spicy pepper as well. And again, pretty much all of you guys out there, I'm sure, have Savage or at least have smelled it a bunch of times by now, but it's still worth mentioning. If you're a beginner and you're looking to get into Dior, Savage, it's just an option that has to be mentioned. It's got great performance as well. I get every bit of 10 plus hours out of it each time I wear it. I mean, the stuff's a beast on my skin. It just works. Second fragrance up, pretty hard to dislike this one as well. This is Dior Homme Cologne. So this one has bergamot, grapefruit blossom, and musk as some of the main notes. Yeah, I've talked about this a million times here on the channel, but for good reason, because this is actually one of my personal favorite summertime scents for days when it's really, really hot outside, or just for a nice, calm, warm morning like this. You know, I can come out here and just kind of enjoy the nice weather, enjoy the peace and quiet, and wear a scent like Dior Homme Cologne. It's just relaxing and calming. It has this iced lemonade type of smell, or what I like to call kind of a sweetened iced lemonade, because there's a bit of a sugary sweetness out of this one, even though for the most part it is primarily fresh and citrusy, and a nice musky base as well. For me, Dior Homme Cologne is unbeatable in the high heat. It is one of the few fragrances, one of the very few out of my entire collection that I will wear when it is super, super hot outside. A lot of times when we're talking those really, really high triple-digit temperatures with a bunch of humidity, I'm not going to be wearing anything. But if there was a time where I did want to wear something, it would be Dior Homme Cologne. Up next, we have Dior Homme Oud. Now, unfortunately, this one is a bit harder to find. You can still get bottles, but it has been discontinued, and that is a bummer. This is one of my favorites, though. If you're unaware of Dior Homme Oud, this one has a bit of a similarity to Prada L'Homme. So some of you out there may be super excited and you're like, oh, I love Prada L'Homme, but some other people may be like, okay, this isn't going to be for me. And you're right, this fragrance is not going to be for everyone. I personally really like it though, and in some ways I actually prefer Dior Homme Oud over Prada L'Homme. There's just something about it. It's got this spiciness in the opening, it's got this freshness, you get that nice creamy iris, but it is a very fresh iris all the way through. It's great for the office, it's great for work, it's great for school, it's soapy, clean, and fresh, and it's just unbeatable. I'm not really sure why they decided to discontinue this one, but they did, and it's a bummer. But like I said, you can still get bottles of it if you look around out there, and it is definitely worth trying. I mean, Dior Homme Oud, still one of my favorites. It's just very wearable to me. It's something I can pick up and wear for any situation, and it's gonna work. And I also find that surprisingly, I get really good performance out of it. It's not quite on the same level as Savage, where that one is quite frankly a beast on my skin, but I do find that is a pretty respectable performer on me. You know, I can get every bit of 8 hours or so out of it longevity and relatively a mild projection, it'll be well enough to get you through an entire day. And at the end of the day, with a fragrance like this, that's about the type of performance you would want. You don't want it to be a beast mode projector. You don't necessarily want it to last for 15 hours, just something nice and mild, and that's what this one does. Works fantastic for a lot of situations out there. Up next we have Dior Homme Intense. So some of you guys may be thinking, well, that's not very good for beginners, and to an extent I would say you're right. But at the same time, I think even if you are newer to collecting and you smell Dior Homme Intense, there is a high probability that you're going to end up loving it because, well, that's what happened to me, and I've seen it happen with a lot of other people as well. I smelled Dior Homme Intense from a sample when I was new to collecting, and I did not have that many fragrances, and I fell in love with it. It was something different. It was something that, to me, smelled like money. It smelled so expensive and so high quality and so luxurious, and I was hooked immediately. And I've been a huge fan of Dior Homme Intense ever since. Even if you are a bit newer and you're kind of on the fence and you're worried about the iris, I would say to at least give it a try and you may end up loving it. This is another one that is an example of the Dior quality and just the impact that Dior has made on the community here with these iris fragrances, and especially with Dior Homme Intense, as this one really took off, even more so than the original Dior Homme. It's got the quality, it's got the performance, it's got the overall unique factor, it's got the presentation. I mean, it is Dior all wrapped up in one package, and it feels high quality, it smells high quality, it smells and feels luxurious and expensive. That's just what it does best. So I encourage you guys to go out there and try it. If you're on the fence, please give it a shot and you may end up really loving it, and well, you can thank me for it. And last up for this video, we have Dior Eau Savage Parfum. So the original Eau Savage is going to be a bit more on the classic side. It's your classic citrus aromatic cologne for gentlemen. The Parfum adds a bit more depth to it. You get a lot of vetiver, you get a nice sour citrus top note, but it smells fantastic, and this one as well also has a really luxurious smell, and that's coming from the vetiver. Vetiver can be used in so many different ways, in so many different forms. It can be clean, it can be earthy. Here in this one, it's a bit more on the kind of clean side, but there are some stronger, earthier undertones in the scent. And again, the vetiver in this one just comes across smelling luxurious and high-end. This smells like a guy who is well put together and a guy who knows what he's doing. And I've always been a fan of Dior Eau Savage Parfum ever since I first got it in. It smells great. Again, presentation-wise, you get the magnetic cap, you get the nice flask-looking bottle. Everything about it is just perfect. Sure, it's going to be a bit more expensive like all of the fragrances here in this video that are from Dior, but that's just kind of what it is, and honestly, you're paying for that quality, you're paying for that unique factor, and it's worth it if you're into it. I will say here with this one, Eau Savage Parfum, it's going to be still a bit on the mature and classic side for some. If you're a younger guy, you may want to go with Savage and Dior Homme Cologne and Dior Homme Oud if you can get it, but if you want something a bit more mature, a bit more refined, Eau Savage Parfum is a nice option. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for me. That is 5 Dior fragrances that you should get into if you're a beginner. This is a great way to dive into the house and try out some of their iconic scents, and trust me when I say it is worth it. I'm sure most of you guys have tried these already and do own them, so let me know down below in the comments what do you think of these fragrances, and kind of let some of the newcomers to the community know if these are good fragrances or not and what you think about them. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.